Hey y'all, welcome to the 35th episode of the Yarn This podcast. I'm Shama, Jessie's Girl 84 on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. If this is your first time watching, thanks so much for giving me a shot. If you're one of my returning yarnies, thanks so much for coming back. It means a lot. Today is Saturday, September 14th, 2019. It's been forever since I last podcasted. So much has happened. I won't get into that right now. I'll wait till the end at 1 week. But in case you're interested in hanging around. Because right now you're here for the knitting and the yarn. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about my works in progress, puppy love. Let me show you something I pulled out that I hadn't worked on in forever. And that is my Happy Knitting Memories blanket. I decided that I have so many minis that I haven't touched. I have a vase filled with them, and then I have some hanging over the top. I have a bag, which I'll show you now, filled with them. It's a huge bag, filled with minis and leftovers from socks that have not been put into my blanket. Those need to be used up. And then whatever I don't use, I need to share. So there's those. And I just decided that I wanted to start putting some together. If I use several different colors in a project, I want to put those in the blanket together. Up till now, I've just added colors. And I don't have any, hardly at all. This is actually all I've done. This is what I added on last Sunday. And for some reason, this one's smaller. I don't know if I made a mistake, but it will stretch out. You can see how much it stretches, so I'm not too worried about it. But this is the bag I've been keeping it in. This is by, what is wrong with me? Suburban Stitcher, Diane of Suburban Stitcher. And I've had it for a few years. This was before she started dyeing yarn even. But, so I had this in here, along with these mostly neon minis that I bought in a set, I believe from Kim. So I cast on for this neon pink, because I'm all about the neon, love neon. And I've got this highlighter yellow, this amazing purple. Look at all the depth in that. And actually in this as well, can you see that? It's got some depth. This bright turquoise, this awesome green, and there's an orange. I'm not a huge orange fan, but when it comes to neon orange, yeah. So here's this. So I'm going to start putting in one a week. That is my goal, is to put in one a week. I knocked off a skein of yarn I need. On Sundays, because on Sundays, I believe I've told y'all in the past, I've started knitting preemie hats during worship. I don't know how everybody feels about that, but I'll tell you what, it's helping me to focus more on the sermon and what's going on around me. Otherwise, my mind is going off in a million different directions, and these preemie hats don't require any thought. So I can just knit them. I can get about one a week done, and on the way to worship and maybe home, maybe Sunday morning and Sunday night, I worked on the square and got it done. So I got a hat and a square done, and I worked on another thing that I'm going to show you in a minute. I still have my gingerbread house socks on the needle, but I'm not going to show you those because I haven't picked them up in months. They will be back in circulation very soon though, because I want to have those done before Christmas, because I have some more I want to knit. I also started a blanket a couple of months ago. I should have brought it, but I will next time. I've got so much to talk about, there's no sense in adding any extras. The one thing that I'm working on consistently right now is a pattern by Kay Jones, Bryony Bear of the Bakery Bears podcast. I love her patterns. I love their podcast. I'm a huge fan. Oh, it looked like it stopped recording, sorry. So a couple of months or so ago, she put out a collection of patterns that we pre-order called the Swish and Flick Collective. And of course, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know it's a Harry Potter collection. So I pre-ordered it, and I'm in love with all the patterns, but I've been working on other things and haven't really had a chance to start on them. But I decided that I wanted to knit the Burrow wrap. And again, if you're a fan, you know that the Burrow is the house that the Weasleys live in. So I'm calling it my Weasley's Burrow wrap. It's fingering weight held together with mohair, and I had never knit with mohair. Early in my knitting, I used to watch Nitty Gritty, and I remember them talking about mohair and how much they love knitting with it. But if you have to frog, you have to put it in the freezer because it clings to itself. And for some reason, and there's no reason for it, I thought it was going to be scratchy. Well, it is not. I decided to go ahead and go along with the pattern. So I think the mohair she used, it's a very common, very expensive too. It's a very, you would know it if I had a brain. But anyway, but instead I bought Knit Picks Aloft, which is, I think it's 72% Super Kid mohair and 28% silk. And I got the silver colorway. It is amazing. And it really doesn't, I mean, it looks kind of soft, but it's way softer than it looks. It called for 5 skeins of this, 5 hanks, whatever. But I'm actually don't think I'm going to get through all of it. I'm only on my 3rd one, and I still have this much left. But I'm enjoying it. I'm going to show you the yarns. I have to pause for a second and pick up this skein of yarn. Just one sec. Okay, first let me show you that I've been keeping it in my Harry Potter bag by Kimmerie's Knit Knacks. I love this bag. I love every single thing Harry Potter, in case you didn't realize that. So let me show you the yarns. I decided to make mine all blue because blue is my favorite color. The last few years I've been trying to do different things, and I'm still going to do other colors. I love other colors, but in my entire life, blue has always been my #1 color. So I decided to make this all blue because I have some beautiful blue yarns that I've been collecting, and I'll still have a lot left over. You'll see as we go. I'll talk a little bit about the yarns, and you'll see how much I have left. But anyway, I started off with this yarn that I've had for a while from Brazen Stitchery, and it's called Frankenberry. Boy, I love this. Every time I go to a show and I go into their booth to buy some of their yarn, I'm like, oh, I love that. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's Frankenberry. No wonder I already have it. I love this yarn so much. I mean, Frankenberry and the colors and the sparkle, this one is definitely me. But let me show you, in case you've never knit with mohair, and I'm probably the last person on the planet that hadn't knit with it before, I'm going to show you the difference with each color that I used with and without the mohair. So first, this is it, and now this is it with the mohair. I mean, that is a massive difference. It really mutes it. But this is how much I've got left over. Now, I do have to knit a 4-row border using each of the colorways. Sorry about my dog. She's playing with her toys. But there's still going to be a ton left over when I'm done. So I'll be able to put this in something else or knit something smaller with it. Anyway, Brazen Stitchery, Frankenberry. The next color I used is Kimmerie's Knit Knacks in one of her shawl skeins. So there's a ton of this. This is like a 150 gram skein, I believe. But this is a light fingering. Yeah, 150 grams of a heavy lace light fingering, 822 yards. And this is her hydrangea colorway, which I absolutely love this as well. It's purpley blue. It's amazing. You can see how much I've got left. And like I said, I have 4 rows of each color border, but it's still not going to be that much. And this is that section with the mohair. The next section was knit out of a Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the Blue Yonder Tonal colorway. This is one I had, or maybe I did buy it for this project, but I'd had it for a little while. And it's more of like a turquoise, but it's got some blue in there. It's a beautiful, this is pretty good representation of the color. And here it is, knit up with the mohair. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job showing it. There, that's better. The next color I used was dyed by my friend Rainey from the Beaumont Yarn Company. And this was actually a 50-gram skein of yarn. I was going to knit a hat out of it, but then I decided it had to go into this wrap. And this is her Rock and Roll colorway. Oops, sorry. Oh yeah, I learned a hack. Once you cake up your yarn, if you don't want to have it like just coming off the side, you can use barrettes to hold it. So that's what I've been doing. But this is how much I had left of the 50-gram before I do the edging. And here it is. So beautiful. The next one is Lazy Cat Luminosity Base in her Water Dragon colorway. And here it is. It's blues and greens, some greens. Can you see the green in there? Yeah, there you go. It's a light green, but there's green in there, like right here. And it's a sparkle base. And here it is, knit up with the mohair. The next color, I'm back to Kim Marie's Knit Knacks again. And this is in her regular sock. It's not a light fingering. This is a regular sock, 75-25. And this is the Cobalt colorway, y'all. As soon as I saw that, I could not stop looking. I'm probably going to end up, if she's got some in a couple of weeks, I'll probably buy another one from her. But here it is, knit with the mohair. Still just this beautiful blue. So we had originally picked a different yarn for the fourth one, but as I was getting closer and closer, I decided that this one right here that I'm going to show you would be a better blend from this to the one after it. And this is again a Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Deep Waters Tonal. Okay, excuse me. I'm gonna I always like to I roll up my ball bands once I've caked it up and I stick it in the center. I'm sure most of you do that as well, but here it is. It's like royal blue, navy blue. Let's see. And it's got some purple in it. This is a really beautiful, deep colors. I love this. And here it is. Knit up. Nothing else is going to take this long, I promise. This wrap has 9 sections, but anyway. So the next to the last one is one I've had for a few years now. This is Dream in Color Starry, and this was their January 2015 club colorway, I believe. I've been holding on to this. I did knit one of Arnie and Carlos's ornaments, and this was the snowman part and the very bottom part, but it didn't take much. So here it is. Can you see how amazingly beautiful this is? It's got some like almost teal. There's almost purple, navy, and cobalt royal type blue. And look how sparkly it is. This yarn, one of my favorite skeins I've ever had. I've hung on to it and hung on to it. I wanted to knit it, but I didn't want to just throw it into some random thing. So here is that section here out of this. And I still have a lot left over. This might go into a cowl or something to go around my neck. It's amazing. Now the last segment, I'm on the 5th row of this section. And this is back to Lazy Cat again. And again on her luminosity base. And this was actually my first skein that I bought from her. And it's a Doctor Who. And it's called Time and Space. It's a very dark, rich, sparkly blue. You can see how sparkly it is. This is amazing. And really, I mean, I've just gotten this right here done. I got to this morning. Anyway, I should be through with this by tomorrow because I plan to work till I'm done. I'll do the edging and I'm going to have it done very, very quickly for an upcoming powder festival that Kim and I are going to in about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from now. And I'll talk about that in We Are Family in a few minutes. Those are the things I have on the needles, and I'm going to quickly go through what I've finished. I've got a lot of it right here for you to see. I'm going to pause you for 1 second. There was one quick thing I wanted to show you. My friend Lauren bought me this precious unicorn stitch marker on the Houston Yarn Crawl. Oops. There we go. I am in love. This is the cutest little stitch marker. Anyway, so there are several things I've finished since the last time we talked. Some of them I'm going to show you a quick picture, and then I'll put pictures in at the end, and some of them I actually have with me to hold up. So the first thing that I finished after my last episode was I was doing these Peeps the Bunny for my nephews and niece for Easter. And the last one I did was the royal blue one. And I'll quickly show you a picture. I used just Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, Sparkly, or Metallic, that's what it's called. And this one is in the Royalty colorway because it's royal blue. Really quick. I used probably like a size, I'll tell you real quickly, a size 4 needle for those, so they'd be good and tight. 3.5 millimeter. And the next thing I knit, and I'm not even going to show you a picture of it, is the Jessie's Girl Cardi. I had that pattern for a while, and then I did this knit along with the Bakery Bears. I didn't finish it in time, but it was your favorite song, like a knit inspired by your favorite song. So this is the Jessie's Girl Cardi by Elizabeth Smith, and Jessie's Girl by Rick Springfield is my favorite song. It is the best song of all time, and Rick Springfield's the best singer, and that's just all there is to it. And I called it the You Know I Wish That I Had Jessie's Girl Cardi, and I used Lemonade Shop Classic DK in her Fan Pop colorway. It is bright colors. I loved knitting with that yarn. It was amazing. I might get some more later because I loved it, and I wouldn't mind having something else out of it. It kind of comes down off the shoulder. It's not really a sleeve. It just drops down about this far over my shoulder. And I have a picture that I'll put of myself wearing it, taking myself like a selfie with it. Anyway, that was a great quick knit, and I actually have yarn to knit it a couple of different ways that are maybe a little more subtle and solid. The next thing I finished was my Indy 500 socks, and if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that we go to the Indy 500 almost every year for the last few years, and I always take a pair of socks to knit at the race because it is so hot. And I love watching the race, but I also need something to do with my hands. So this is the Prairie Sock pattern by Kay Jones, who I talked about earlier. The yarn I used was Brazen Stitchery Harmony Sock in the Georgia We're Podcasting, inspired by the Grocery Girls because they were at the DFW Fiber Fest. And I got this yarn and I loved it. So I didn't finish them while we were gone, but I finished them after. And I do them on 1.5, 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circs, my Chalgu 9-inch circs. And I did a contrast toe, heel, and cuff out of Hedgehog Fiber Sock Mini in the Hara, H-A-R-A colorway. And I got that yarn at Yarn Candy in Little Rock, Arkansas on the way to Indiana. So this is one of the socks. This was a 250 gram minis. and they're not matching. One is for each of the grocery girls. So this is one of them with the hot pink, which I really loved. And then this is the other one. I can't remember which one's Tracy and which one's for Jody, but anyway, so here they are next to each other. Fun yarn. This is a great pattern, the Prairie socks. I'm going to probably knit this again. She has a hat pattern now, a Prairie hat, which I think would be a lot of fun to knit. I might see how much I have left over from these. Maybe knit a matching hat. Ooh, yeah, I need to look into that. Anyway, so this is another one of my FOs. So then I was down for a while, and I'm going to talk about that. I had foot surgery, and boy, did I get some stuff knitted during that time. And I even practiced crocheting, and I've got some to prove that I crocheted as well. Sorry, I pulled my knitting off the needles there. But one of the first things I finished was something I had in the works that I had put aside, which was the Tricolor Ornament by Arnie and Carlos from their book. Was it 55 knitted Christmas balls or knitted balls or balls to knit? I can't remember. And this is the Tricolor Christmas Ornament. And I knit all of my ornaments out of acrylic because I don't want anything to get in them when they're stored and go after it. So this is Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn in navy, flamingo for the pink, of course, and then the green is lime green. This was a little bit, I had to think about this a little bit more, but I really, really enjoyed knitting this. And then I did the hanger out of the navy. But here it is. I would strongly encourage you, if you love Christmas and you love hand knit things and you want to have like an all handmade tree, I plan to knit every single ornament out of that book. Plus I found some free ones. I can't remember where they were, but you could look, like Google Arnie and Carlos free knitted balls. Amazing, so much fun, and a bit of a challenge sometimes. Like this one was a little bit more challenging. And I decided to go ahead and cast on and knit another one, the Selbu pattern. And I'll have to show you in a minute. The Selbu is also from the book. This is the number 17 in the book. And I knit this out of Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn, both metallic, and the Royalty and Lavender Sparkle. And it has this other little, this was so much fun. These are the same size, but because I'm not awesome with carrying yarns, I try to be really loose, but I end up tugging a little bit. You can see the size difference. Same number of stitches, same needle. Anyway, but I love them both. I cannot wait to put my tree up and put these on. Okay. What else did I finish? Oh, yes. So I decided that I wanted to knit. I watched a lot of Arnie and Carlos while I was down for my surgery. And I decided I wanted to crochet their granny square. I had tried to crochet a granny square a few years ago with a friend, and it was a disaster. I could not follow the YouTube video, and I don't remember who it was, and it probably wasn't the video. I'm sure it was me. But I did two things. I got the pattern, because they have a pattern, and it's from their Knit and Crochet Garden. Then I also watched the video, and this is my first square. My first granny square, y'all. And this was just knit out of Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, I think, mostly. I didn't even put the yarn on here. I used a size G 4.25 millimeter hook. I really enjoyed this. I'm actually really thinking about, when I finish a yarn for my memories blanket, I might start either a granny square or one of those crocheted scrappy blankets. I can't think what they're called, but anyway, while I was at it, if you are a Patreon, a patron on their Patreon for the Bakery Bears. I think it's just for Patreon, patrons, sorry. She did a little crocheted, y'all, coaster. So I tried one along with the video and really enjoyed it, and it didn't take any time. So I wrote down the pattern, and I just did 2 for myself, and this was the first, this might have been the second one, but the first 2 I did were out of this color. And then I decided to do one for each of my sons because they do a lot in their room. So I did this one for my younger son, and then I did a red one for my older son, and I'll put pictures up. The red one is very like the color is too bright for some reason. Anyway, so then after I did these, my younger son asked if I could do like a hexagon shape for his D&D group. And I said yes. And so I'm going to quickly show you. This is actually not a pattern I found, but a video from Yay for Yarn on YouTube, and it's just a hexagon shape. But I stopped, I did 66 stitches at the biggest, around to 66 stitches, and I did a 20 in the middle of, and like did a back stitch 20 in the middle of each of them, and you'll see that they're not consistent. Embroidering, in my opinion, over crochet is difficult. But anyway, I did this black and red, I did this red and blue, a blue and red, yellow and blue. Now let me show you, a yellow and black, sorry. This one was done out of either peaches and cream or sugar and cream. And a lot of these were done out of Dishy. Same size hook, same size number of stitches. And this is the difference. This one is a lot bigger. But anyway, so there is a difference. And I actually really liked working with Dishy so much more. Pink and pink. There's one girl in their group. Here's a blue with like a green, which is a multicolored green. Actually, it's the same green here. A gray with a blue, and then this orange and navy. So I really enjoyed doing those. I got to where I could do them really quickly. Knitting is always going to be my first love, but I am going to start adding a little crochet into it. As a matter of fact, I've got a big crochet project coming up that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. What else did I finish? Oh yes, this is not exactly the way it was supposed to look, but I got a skein of Arnie and Carlos Regia Perfect, and I decided to do their little teddy bear, which I'd been wanting to do for a long time. Now I ended up, instead of going into the body of the sock, I also got the heel and cuff, which is a solid. So I'm personally okay with the way it came out, but I'm sure some people would not be. But here it is. This is my Christmas teddy bear. And then I used, what did I use? Oh yes, Knit Picks palette in the cream color for the face, which by the way is, in my opinion, a little difficult. You can see that my decreases aren't perfectly like cornered. I couldn't quite figure out how to get it. I had to cut the first face out when I got through. I was not happy with it. But it was actually really, really fun to knit. I might ask Arnie and Carlos about this because they do a lot of videos answering questions. But this is my Christmas teddy bear, and I'm in love with him. I cannot wait to set him out with all my handmade Christmas stuff. Okay, and no, it's not too early to talk about Christmas. The last thing I finished, I don't have. And actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to talk about that in 1 week, even though it's about my life. There's something that came up that I want to talk about, and this has to do with it. So, that is all of the finished objects. I'm going to start on the musicality shawl. This is in the final countdown, things that I have coming up. I'm going to start the musicality shawl because Kim and I are going to Fiber Fun in the SIP in a little under 2 weeks, and that was designed for that Fiber Festival. Kim sent me some yarn, and I really should have already started on it, but it's got some beaded sections, and I've got the yarn. I don't have it in here to show you. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to cake it up and get it ready to go. Let me see. No, I don't have it in here. Get it ready to go for, as soon as I finish this up, this Burrows wrap, I'm going to cast that on and get started. I also have the Beach Days wrap by Tracy Miller from the Grocery Girls. She designed this amazing wrap, and I really do like wraps. They're easy to style. But anyway, I really wanted to do it for my class reunion, and I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I thought my class reunion was the beginning of November, but it's actually October 19th, so I'm going to try. My school colors are black and gold, and I had this yarn from Stunning String Studio that I had bought not this past DFW Fiber Fest, but the one in 2018. And it's actually for, I bought it for a Hufflepuff wrap. These are the colors. It's Toasted Gold and Charcoal. And my school colors are black and gold, but I don't want to do just a black and gold, even though I love it. It's my school. Once a pirate, always a pirate. But I think I'm going to, it can be a 3-color wrap. And I'm going to add this like silvery color in. I think these 3 go great together. I really would love to have that done before my class reunion. Let me see if I can pull that pattern up while I'm talking. But anyway, it's called the Beach Days Wrap by Tracy Miller. And it's really, really a kind of different. And I really like it, but I also think it's something that I could get knit up very quickly. Here it is. I'm trying not to show y'all so many pictures from my tablet. My friend, who I'm not going to name, but you know who you are, suggested I not do that as much. But this is not my knitted project, so I'm just going to show you instead of putting it in my pictures. This is the Beach Days wrap. I'm going to do it. Whether I get it done before my class reunion remains to be seen. What else do I have coming up? Oh, yes. That's another one I'm going to save for 1 week. Anyway, hang on. So, we are family. We had the Houston Fiber Fest this summer, and it was great. Let me see. I'm 33 minutes in. Let me pull out some of the yarns that I've gotten and show you. I think I've shown you some of these, though. Let me check real quick. No, I didn't. It really has been forever. I'm going to show you quickly some of the yarns that I've picked up. And just dropped one. I don't necessarily have plans for them right now. But anyway, I've gotten some beautiful, beautiful yarns. Some on our trip to Indiana and some at fiber festivals. And some are actually being knit up into the Burrows wrap. So anyway, Savvy Scent Gains Cornflower. I actually looked at it at DFW and fell in love with it, but I didn't get it. And then when we went to, maybe it was Yellow Rose, I went ahead and got it. Look at that. Savvy Skeins. This is on her Sensible Sock base, and it's cornflower. It's an 80-20. Amazing. I got Fight the Fairies from Brazen Stitchery. Isn't that just, look at that purple. I love that. That's amazing. And it's on a sparkle. Can you see? Oh yeah, there you go. Woo! This one was dyed by Stacy. I got, from Night Owl Fibers. And if you've not seen Night Owl Fibers, this is her card. And I know for a fact that I got this at Yellow Rose. This is her Gillyweed, Harry Potter again, her Gillyweed colorway. And she was backed up to us, and we both had grid wall. And so I could see this colorway, and I could see the name, and I just could not resist. She has some beautiful yarns. She's very young. I think she's like 21, maybe 22 now. Anyway, I'm going to quickly run through these. This is by Crafting My Chaos. They're a new dyer. And this is in the Blue Party Micro Stripe. She's from Georgetown, Texas, and I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry. But look at this, y'all. What? What? Look at those colors. I am dying. I cannot wait. I don't know what to knit this up. Because as much as I love knitting my socks, when you've got something like this, you want the world to see it. Not everybody feels that way. But y'all, in case you couldn't tell, I am all about color. Oh, and okay, like I said, some of these I got in, I have some missing yarn. I probably just already put it on the shelf. Anyway, this is Violet Beauregard. Willy Wonka, are you kidding me? This is dyed by Penny from Brazen Stitchery, and this is on their Harmony sock. It's not sparkle, but man, look the depth of color in that. That's amazing. I don't know. I might put this with something else and do a heel, toe, and cuff, but anyway, we'll see. Kim had taken some of her minis and braided them together. And this is Ink Bear and Ruby, and I'm going to do something patriotic with this. I don't know what. Look at that. Red, white, and blue for my country. I love this. I haven't decided again. Oh, this is Kim again on her Fiji colorway. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh. Again, I am an impulse yarn buyer, but I end up finding ways to use them, and sometimes, like in the Burrows wrap, use a bunch of them at one time. This is another Savvy Skeins in her Sensible Sock Base, and this is called Cyclone. Look at that speckle. Oh, I think I know what I can do with this. I have another, I think it's a cowl by Kay Jones, and it's a Hogwarts cowl. It's like a back-to-school cowl. You know what? I bought these last year to go in it. Actually, yes. These are from, I showed these to you last year, Crystal Skies hand dyed. And this is the Pixie Dust cowl, which you've seen, but it's been a long, long time. But look, I think that would go really well with it. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going in this. I'm going to put these over here so I don't forget. Okay, sorry about that. This is the Moose colorway by Brazen Stitchery. And y'all, the reason I ended up with this, I mean, it's beautiful. But every show I kept going back to it and going back to it. I believe this is reference to that show that's been going for years and years, and I've never watched it. Anyway, this is beautiful. It's so sparkly. It's got blues and grays, and look at this red. More red. And even more here, that dark, like a brownish gray with that red. This is amazing. Oh, what is that show? Everybody's probably screaming at me, but this is on their Glam Sock. So it's a 75 merino, 20% nylon, and 5% lurex. Y'all, lurex kicks Stelina's butt when it comes to sparkle. I love it. I'm going to buy Stelina, but man, I love that lurex. Okay. Oh, yeah. Allie from Savvy Skeins had dyed up a Doctor Strange on her Sensible Sock Base. Look at that. I am all about the Marvel. Did y'all see Endgame? I may have embarrassed my family with my crying, but we won't talk about that. Okay, and this is another dyer, Euphoria Knits. She was new to me anyway. And this is on her Frenzy Deluxe sock, and it's an 85 merino 15 nylon. I don't know if Frenzy's the colorway. I think it's the base, and Brine is the colorway. It is so soft and squishy. With a 15% nylon, I'm not 100% sure about knitting this into socks, but it smells good too. But look at that. There's a little gray right in there and right there. And then look at this, like turquoisey next to the navy. This is gorgeous. I cannot wait to see this knit up. And then I had gotten this blue that I thought I would put in my Burrows wrap. And this is another Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering in their Wisp Kettle Dye. This is really, really pretty blue. Anyway, I'm trying not to go on for 2 hours here. Let me see. Let me pause you for a second, see if I can find something else. Okay, I found my trip yarn. So I'm going to quickly go over these, and I'm trying to think where I got. Okay, I got this Dream in Color Smushy. It's an extra fine merino, and it's their Socket Club from October 2018. So it doesn't have a name. But I really, really like the colors in it. It's almost like a neon pinks, and it's got these pale pinks and the yellows, really bright yellows, and this kind of brown and some muted colors and speckles. And look at this purple. This is going to be interesting to see how it comes out. This is an 85-15 again, so I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll see. I really loved this. I got this at the little yarn shop I told you about in Arkansas, in Little Rock. And I believe, oh yeah, I believe I got this there as well. This is Fiber Seed, which I've shown y'all before. I got this at DFW. And this is their Sprout Sock. And this is their February 2000, oh, Lonely Hearts Club is the colorway. I loved that speckle. Huh. I wonder if that could go in there too. It's not as pastel-y though. Anyway, loved this. What else did I get? Okay. This is Sleepy Time Knits Sheepy Feet, the Village colorway. I believe I got this at Village Yarns in...
This is a reminder. Give Poppy dental chews.
Sorry. I don't know what I'd do without Alexa.
This is a reminder. Give Poppy dental chews.
Okay, so this was for the Village Yarn Shop in Zionsville, Indiana. This is a beautiful, beautiful pale yarn, but it's pale blue. But it's got this darker blue and then this dark green in it. Kind of and then this deep turquoisey tealy color. So there's the darker blue right in here. Here's that teal, which is not really showing up as a teal. It's more of a, anyway, it's more teal than that. Actually, it's a little better back here. And then this green. I love going to Zionsville. It's like going to Mayberry or Leave It to Beaver. Anyway, so, oh yeah. And then this Hedgehog Fiber twisted sock in the kimono colorway. And I got this also in Arkansas. And here it is. I had never bought Hedgehog before. Or did I get this? Yeah, I got this in Arkansas. I thought the colors in this were beautiful. I'm not a big orange person, but I thought this was going to be really good. Okay, I'm hurrying, I'm sorry. They have La Jolla yarn. No, La Jolla yarn. And they had this at Mass Avenue Yarns in Indianapolis, which I love, love, love going there every year. but they don't really usually put a name on their yarns. This one, look at those colors, y'all. Look at that blue. Can you even believe? And this purple, look at that purple. Right there. This is their January 2019 colorway. This, look at that. Wow. And these are 100% superwash, so I'll have to figure something else out for these, but they're amazing. This is their February 2019 colorway. See, I get so excited I forget to see if there's a nylon content. But anyway, gorgeous. And then this, I wasn't going to get another one, but then when I saw the name of this and looked at the colors, I'm going to show you the colors first. It's reds and kind of oranges and pinks and even this really dark purple. Y'all, the name of the colorway. Can you see that? You had me at Jello. Seriously? Jello? Okay. Anyway, so this was the last one I got, and this is 3 Irish Girls. And I believe I also got this at Mass Avenue. Nope, I got this at Yarn Candy. Now I'm not sure what I got where. That was back in May, y'all. And this is on the Adorn Luxe base by 3 Irish Girls, and this, the colorway is Spectra. Wow. Look at that. This one is an 85-15. Y'all let me know if you think 85-15 would be safe for socks, because I can only knit so many cows and hats. But then again, I can knit a lot of shawls because I'm really wanting to get back into shawls. She's sniffing my yarn, sorry. So that's just about all the yarns. Oh, you know what I didn't show you? I've also been knitting preemie hats. I'm going to quickly show you. I've got, this is a full, like a newborn size full term. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of these because my babies were full term and they were in NICU. But I've got this one and this one. And by the way, this is all the top-down preemie hat pattern by Java Pearl. I did a solid green with the, and all of these are sparkle. I'm going to do them sparkly because it's Christmas and these babies are going to get these at Christmas. This is all Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. I love how when you knit a smaller hat, you get this pooling, which by the way, I love pooling. And then you knit the next size up and this is the way it looks. Anyway, and then this is one. I'm keeping track of how many of each size I knit. And you know, if it's a little too big, that's great. That's fine. But I want some that can go on even the biggest head and the smallest head that's in NICU. What else do I have to show y'all? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into quickly. We've got Fiber Fun and the SIP coming up. Less than 2 weeks from now, and I'm really looking forward to that. Lady Men Fiber Arts is going to be there. Forbidden Fibers, she's got a ton of Harry Potter yarns, and I'm probably going to get some because I want to knit another Burrows wrap using all Harry Potter yarns. I found a new podcast called Nitty Natty it's the girl is Nitty Natty and it's Love and Stitches. She is adorable. She's from Dallas. She's in her 20s. She's a school teacher and she's amazing. She's also a designer. So y'all give her a chance because her podcast is so cute and she's so funny. But you'll love her. Nitty Natty. I've got some books, and I say this every time. I'm not going to go into them because I'm at 49 minutes already. But I'm going to come back very soon and talk to y'all again. I'm going to go ahead and hop into 1 week. A bunch of things have happened since we last talked. I had my foot surgery, which I think I told y'all about. I was off non-bearing for 6 weeks on that foot, but I used a knee cart, but my family helped me a lot. I did a little house cleaning downstairs. I dusted, and I did part of the bathroom, and my husband did the other. I can't stand to just let my house go. But my sons took the upstairs. They did their room, and then they each took part of the bathroom, and then the school room. It's the 3rd bedroom. It's where we used to homeschool. And at first I was extremely nervous about that, but boy, did they come through. They emptied the dishwasher for me every day. I pretty much kept the coffee pot going. I couldn't really get in and out of the laundry room on the knee cart. I could, but it was a huge pain. That knee cart was like a car with a bent chassis. You'd start backing up and it would just twist. Anyway, it was great, but it wasn't super convenient. So they would take care of getting the laundry washed, and then they'd bring it to me and I'd fold it and they'd put it away. So we worked together, but they covered most of what I would normally do. They cooked. They really relieved my mind of that big worry. So I am walking again. I went into a boot for a few weeks, which was a pain in the butt, but I got through it. And I tried to stay in. I stayed in as much as humanly possible. But during all of that, my dad went to the doctor for a checkup, and they found a little problem and had him go for a colonoscopy. They found cancer. And I thought, oh no, colon cancer, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? Well, it turned out that it is more lymphoma, which is much more treatable and more manageable. So while it's not a good thing, we know what we're facing, and he's already had his first treatment, and the problems that he was having because of the tumors have already started correcting themselves, which is an amazing, amazing thing. The very next day, the problems started correcting themselves. But while we were there, one of his nurses from his first time having chemo had gotten married last January, and she and her husband went to Japan, if you recall, and I knitted her a cherry blossom cowl to wear on her honeymoon, because she said her one regret was that while they were there, the cherry blossoms wouldn't be blooming. So I got back, and she is 8 months pregnant. Just over 8 months. Now, she's due October 13th, y'all. And so I knitted her this pumpkin hat for a newborn. So I wanted to show y'all that. I'm going to show you a quick picture. I knitted it, cast on, and finished it Wednesday night. And took it to her Thursday. And she was so excited, and I was really just super excited to knit it. This is the... I'll tell you the name of it in just a second. So this is what it looks like on top. And, oops. Here it is from the side. I put it over my cup. Here it is. It's like a ribbing, but you can kind of see where the purl stitches are. Anyway, it was so much fun to knit. And I knitted it at Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn, Jelly Bean. That's the green, the stem and the leaf and the vine. And then actually the orange is Tangerine by out of Red Heart Soft Solids. It's super soft. It's not plasticky or scratchy at all. And Jessica loved it. And then she told me that the baby's nursery is in giraffes, and because her favorite color is orange. So I'm going to do the Mrs. Gelato by Kay Jones. And I happen to have this orange and pink. It's got some yellow in it, stripe. And Mrs. Gelato is knit in like a stripy yarn. I think that's how Kay knit it. And she's got a little sweater that she has. So I'm going to knit Mrs. Gelato. I'm saving this because I was going to tell you about all the stuff with the cancer and Jessica. So this is what I'm going to knit Mrs. Gelato out of. And I'm super excited. And I'm hoping to be able to get her that before she goes on maternity leave. What else? Oh, yes, something else really big happened. My son got engaged. He got engaged to Sarah. They've known each other for about 13 or 14 years now, I believe. They met at church camp when they were young. And they started dating in January, and they're getting married next May. We've already got the venue. Like her dress is bought. He's picked out the clothes for the guys. She's picked out the dresses for the girls, and the music. I think the music has all been picked out. So the theme is Enchanted Forest. They love fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, and all that stuff. So she asked me if I could make dragons to put on the tables. It's going to be a small wedding. 100 people or less are going to be there. So I found this pattern, but it's crocheted. and some of the girls in the group are going to help me crochet them. So you'll be seeing some crocheted dragons, some that I've crocheted and some that my friends, my amazing, fabulous friends are going to help me by crocheting. And I'm going to tell you who crocheted them as they come in. And so I'm really excited about that. And the last thing I wanted to tell you about is that Logan has decided to become an electrician. So he's going to school to become an electrician right now, and that'll be done right before the wedding. Anyway, so we're crazy busy. Kelby is still going, working at HEB. He's also started an online comic, and he's really enjoying that. And Chuck is continuing to love his job. It's going great. And we just celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary. Anyway, I'm at an hour, and I really didn't intend to talk this long, but I think I've gotten a lot crammed in. Next time I'm going to talk to y'all about what I'm working on. I've got some books and magazines I want to show you. So I'm going to be back right after we get back from Mississippi. And that is a promise. I'm going to get in here and do this because I love podcasting. I love talking to y'all. I want to grow my podcast. And anyway, so if you've enjoyed this, push the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and tell your friends, please. And until next time, knit on.